Ladies and gentlemen, listen to me, not just with your ears, but with your soul. Because what I'm about to say, if you truly take it in, can change your life. There is a voice inside you, a voice that's been whispering, crying, sometimes even shouting, but you've been ignoring it for far too long. It's the voice that knows who you really are, the voice that remembers what you were born to do. And for just 3 days, I want you to listen. Not to fear, not to doubt, not to the voice of excuses. The words you speak aren't just sounds that vanish into the air. They carry weight, they have power, and they shape the reality around you. Every word you say, whether spoken out loud or in your mind, is shaping your future. Your thoughts create your words. Your words influence your actions, and your actions define the life you live. If you truly understood how powerful your words are, you'd be more careful with how you speak to yourself. Most people don't even realize they're speaking negativity into their own lives. They wake up and say things like, "I'm so tired, I'm not good at this, I can't do this," or "nothing ever works out for me." These phrases might seem small, maybe even harmless, but they're powerful because they reinforce your beliefs. Your subconscious mind hears everything you say and doesn't ask if it's true or false. It just takes it as a command. So if you constantly tell yourself, "I'm not good enough," your mind believes it, and your actions will follow that belief. You'll hesitate, you'll hold back, you'll stop yourself from going after things, because deep down, you've told yourself that you're not capable. The words you speak also affect how you see the world. If you're always complaining, if you're always focused on the negative, your brain will filter everything to match those thoughts. It's because of something called the reticular activating system, a part of your brain that focuses on what you tell it is important. If you say, "I always struggle," your brain will start noticing every struggle and overlook all the moments of ease. If you say, "I never get lucky," your mind will ignore all the small wins and lucky breaks that happen every day. But if you change your words and start saying, "I find solutions, I attract opportunities, I'm getting stronger every day," then your brain starts picking up on progress, chances, and open doors, where before you only saw walls. Let me know in the comments, what's one limiting belief you're letting go of today? The most successful people in the world understand this. They don't let negative words control their minds. They wake up in the morning and speak success before they even leave their beds. They breathe life into their goals before they even see results. They say, "I am capable," even when doubt shows up. They say, "I am strong," even when life feels heavy. They say, "I'll find a way," even when the road ahead isn't clear. And because they keep repeating those truths, they do find a way. They push forward, they overcome. And eventually they turn those words into their reality. Think about an athlete training for a championship. If they keep saying, "I'll never be good enough," do you think they'll perform at their best? Of course not. But if they wake up each day saying, "I'm built for this, I'm ready, I perform under pressure," their body and mind align with that belief. They train harder, they go further, they sharpen their skills. And when it's time to compete, they walk in with the mindset of a champion. That confidence didn't just happen. It was spoken into reality long before the big moment came. The same thing applies to every part of life. Whether you want success in your career, your relationships, your health, or your personal growth, it all starts with how you speak to yourself. If you say, "I'm just not good with money," your actions will reflect that. You won't take chances. You'll avoid new opportunities. You'll hold yourself back from financial growth without even knowing it. But if you shift your language and start saying, "I'm learning to create wealth. I'm capable of earning more. I attract financial growth," your mindset shifts. Your actions change. This isn't just some motivational talk. This is backed by science. There have been tons of studies on the power of words and how they affect the human brain. Psychologists have shown that self-affirmation can literally rewire the brain's pathways. Athletes, entrepreneurs, world leaders, the people who perform at the highest levels know that words aren't just for communication. They're tools that shape reality. Even your body responds to your words. If you say, "I feel weak," your energy will drop. But if you say, "I feel strong today," your posture changes, your breathing deepens, and your energy lifts. Your mind and body are connected, and your words are the bridge between them. Speak strength, and you'll feel stronger. Speak defeat, and you'll feel weaker. Most people never experience the power of this because they're trapped in the habit of negative self-talk. It's not even intentional anymore. It's automatic. But what if, just for 3 days, you chose to speak differently? What if, for just 3 days, you cut out every negative phrase? What if instead of saying, "I can't," you said, "I'll figure it out"? What if instead of saying, "I'm not enough," you said, "I'm getting better every day"? What if instead of saying, "This is too hard," you said, "I was made for challenges like this"? Your words shape how you feel, how you act, and what you accomplish. It won't be easy at first. Your mind is used to the old way. But if you stay consistent, if you catch yourself every time you slip into negative talk and replace it with strong, positive words, something amazing will start to happen. You'll begin to believe in yourself more. You'll start to see yourself differently. You'll act differently. And once that happens, there's no limit to what you can do. That's why successful people protect the way they speak. They don't let careless words leave their lips. They don't speak fear, failure, or limitation. They don't say, "I hope it works." They say, "I'll make it work." They don't say, "I'll try." They say, "I'm doing this." They don't say, "Maybe someday." They say, "Day one starts now." That's how you build a new reality. You don't wait for success to show up before you speak like a winner. You speak it first, and success follows. You don't wait to feel strong before declaring your strength. You declare it, and your strength rises to meet your words. You don't wait for life to get better before changing your language. You change your words first, and life shifts in response. So the real question is, what are you saying to yourself every single day? Are you building yourself up or tearing yourself down? Are you speaking life or blocking your blessings with your words? Are you programming your mind for success or reinforcing failure without even realizing it? The words you choose today will shape the reality you wake up to tomorrow. Choose carefully. Fear is the invisible cage that holds people back from stepping into their true potential. It doesn't yell, it whispers, it doesn't attack directly. It sneaks in through cracks of doubt, moments of hesitation, and the endless what-ifs that swirl in your mind. It hides as logic, caution, or preparation, but at its core, it's just a thief stealing dreams before they have the chance to grow. It convinces you that you're not ready, not capable, not enough, and the more you listen, the stronger it gets. It starts small, a brief hesitation, a quiet thought. What if I fail? Then it multiplies, builds a case, gathers proof, and plays out 100 worst-case scenarios in your head. It reminds you of every mistake, every rejection, every time you felt small or embarrassed, and then it whispers, "Stay safe." It tells you staying the same is better than risking the unknown. It convinces you that comfort is the goal, that safety is success, that avoiding failure is smart. But what fear doesn't tell you is the cost of listening. It won't mention the dreams left behind, the goals never chased, the moments of greatness that never happened because someone let fear call the shots. It doesn't tell you that everyone who's ever done something meaningful had to face fear to do it. It doesn't tell you that courage doesn't mean being without fear. It means choosing to move forward in spite of it. Fear feeds off hesitation. The more you wait, the stronger it becomes. The more you overthink, the louder it gets. It lives in the space between decision and action, right where doubt creeps in, where you start to question if you're good enough, strong enough, or ready. If fear can keep you stuck there long enough, it knows you'll talk yourself out of trying. You'll convince yourself it's not the right time, that you need more experience, more knowledge, more support. And so you wait. You wait for the perfect moment, for fear to vanish, for everything to make sense, but it never does, and so nothing changes. The truth is, fear never fully goes away. It will always be there, waiting for an opening. The goal isn't to erase it, but to stop letting it lead. Recognize it for what it is, a challenge, a test, a chance to show yourself you're stronger than your doubt. Every time you push through fear, every time you act in spite of it, you loosen its grip. You prove to yourself that what you were afraid of wasn't as big as it seemed. You realize the worst-case scenario your mind created was just a story, and that even if you fail, you're still here. You're still learning and growing. Fear can't survive when you take action. The moment you take a step forward, the moment you stop letting it freeze you, it starts to lose power. The first step is always the hardest. The first time you put yourself out there, the first risk, the first moment you believe in yourself, even with fear shouting in your head. Your hands shake, your heart races, your mind spins, but then you do it. You take that step, and you realize the world didn't end. You're still standing. You're stronger than you thought. And then you take another step and another. And with each one, fear gets smaller. There will always be a voice in you saying to be careful, to play it safe, to avoid risk. That voice isn't your enemy. It's trying to protect you. But protection isn't the same as growth. You weren't meant to live a life that's only safe. You weren't made to shrink or hold back or stay inside the lines fear has drawn. You were made to stretch, to reach, to go beyond what you thought possible. You were made to try, to fail, to rise again. You were made to truly live, not just exist in comfort. Fear will tell you that you're not ready, that you need more time, more practice, more certainty, but the truth is you'll never feel completely ready. You'll never have all the answers. Fear may never fully go away, but you can still begin. You can choose not to let fear be the reason you hold yourself back. You can choose to act even when your heart's pounding, even when your mind is full of doubt, even when everything in you wants to retreat. Because once you start, once you take that leap, you'll see fear was never the wall you thought it was. It was just a shadow, only as strong as you allowed it to be. Some of the most successful people in the world were once terrified to start. They doubted themselves. They wondered if they were good enough. But they didn't let fear make the decision. They moved anyway. They accepted the discomfort, the unknown, and they kept going. And because they did, they achieved what once seemed impossible. They built lives others only dream of, not because they were fearless, but because they refused to let fear lead. You have the same choice. Fear will always be waiting in the background, ready to list every reason not to try. But it doesn't have the final say. You do. You decide if fear wins or if you rise. You choose whether to stay in the familiar or to step into something greater. Fear is a voice, but it's not the truth. It's an illusion that feels real because you gave it power. The only way to take that power back is to move, to act, to choose your goals, your future, your dreams over your fears. The only thing standing between you and the life you want is how willing you are to push through fear. Greatness doesn't come out of nowhere. It's not a gift. It's not reserved for a lucky few. It's built and reinforced day by day through the words you speak to yourself. Your mind is a battlefield, and every day you decide whether to feed it strength or poison it with doubt. The way you speak, the beliefs you hold about yourself and what you can do, shape your choices, your actions, and in the end, your entire life. If you don't affirm your greatness every day, the world will convince you that you are just average. Most people go through life unaware of the constant inner dialogue in their minds. They carry beliefs that were planted in them during childhood, things they heard from parents, teachers, or society, words that shaped their self-image before they were even old enough to question them. Some were told they were smart, strong, capable, and meant for success. Others were told they were average, that they wouldn't amount to much, that they should play it safe. And without even realizing it, they accepted these stories as truth. Those beliefs became background noise, influencing every decision, every risk taken or avoided. But what if those words weren't true? What if those limits were never real? What if you could change the script at any time and decide who you truly are? The mind is programmable. What you feed it, it will believe. What you repeat, it will absorb. If you wake up every day and say, "I'm not good enough," your mind will find reasons to prove it. If you say, "I can't handle this," your brain will lower your confidence and energy to match that thought. But if you say, "I am powerful, I am built for this, I am unstoppable," your mind will begin to shift. It will start to align your thoughts, body language, and energy with those words. Affirmations are not just phrases, they are commands. They tell your subconscious what to believe, what to focus on, and what to create. Think about the most successful people in the world. They don't leave their mindset to chance. They don't let random negative thoughts control their actions. They wake up every day and declare who they are. They look in the mirror and remind themselves of their strength, their purpose, their ability to handle anything. They speak their vision into existence long before it becomes real. This isn't ego or fantasy, it's training the mind for success. The world will try to tell you who you are. It will try to label you, limit you, and define you based on your background, your struggles, or other people's opinions. If you don't take charge of your own story, if you don't affirm your greatness every day, you'll unconsciously accept the version of yourself that others expect from you. You'll shrink to fit instead of growing into your full potential. Some people hear the word affirmations and brush it off as just fluffy self-help talk, but they don't realize they're already using affirmations just in the wrong direction. Every time they say, "I can't do this," they're affirming weakness. Every time they say, "I always mess things up," they're reinforcing failure. Every time they say, "I'm not smart enough, not talented enough, not lucky enough," they're programming themselves to live small. The mind listens, and it doesn't judge what you say. It just accepts it. Imagine someone who's spent years telling themselves they're shy, they're not confident, they're bad with people. That belief becomes part of who they are. They avoid eye contact, stay quiet, hesitate, not because they're incapable, but because they've convinced themselves that's who they are. But if that same person started saying, "I am confident, I am charismatic, I feel comfortable around people," and repeated it daily, something would begin to change. At first it might feel fake or awkward because the mind is used to the old story. But if they keep going, if they speak with conviction, their brain starts to adapt. They begin to carry themselves differently, engage more, believe in themselves a little more each day. Soon those words stop being just words. They become reality. That's the power of daily affirmations. It's not about pretending. It's about reinforcing the truth of your potential until your mind accepts it as fact. It's about replacing years of negative beliefs with something stronger, something real. It's about deciding that you are done with self-doubt, insecurity, and limits. Every morning before the world tells you who you are, you have to tell yourself. Look in the mirror. Speak with confidence. Say it like you believe it. I am strong. I am powerful. I am a leader. I am fearless. Say it again and again until there's no room left for doubt. Say it until it's not just something you say, but something you feel. Don't wait for proof to believe in yourself. Believe it first, and the proof will come. Your mind is a powerful tool, but only if you use it the right way. If you don't guide your thoughts, they'll take over. If you don't speak life over yourself, the world will speak limits over you. If you don't affirm your greatness daily, you'll forget it's even there. There's no cap on what you can do, no ceiling on your potential, only the limits you've accepted. And those limits are created by words, thoughts, and beliefs that were repeated so often they started to feel like facts. But you can break them. You can rewrite them. You can decide right now that from this moment on, you will speak to yourself with confidence, with strength, with certainty. That from this moment on, you will affirm your greatness every single day until it becomes a part of who you are, so deeply rooted in your soul that nothing and no one can shake it. Limiting beliefs are invisible chains holding people back from reaching their full potential. They're not real barriers, not actual walls, but they might as well be, because they shape how far someone is willing to go, what they believe they can have, and what kind of life they think they deserve. These beliefs are the quiet whispers that say, you can't, you're not good enough, that life isn't for you. And if you don't challenge them, they become your truth. They become the ceiling that keeps you from rising, the weight that keeps you from running, the fear that stops you from even trying. Most people don't realize they're living under limiting beliefs. They think they're just facing reality. But these thoughts aren't facts. They're stories, opinions, illusions that have been given too much power. They live only in the mind, and the mind can be changed. The only reason a limiting belief has control over someone is because they've accepted it as truth. But the moment a person questions it, the moment they push back, it starts to lose its grip. The moment they refuse to let it define them, they take the first step toward freedom. Every person has the power to break free from the beliefs that hold them back, but it starts with a decision to stop accepting doubt as truth, a decision to challenge every thought that says, "I can't," with the question, "Who says?" A decision to stop listening to the voice of limitation and begin writing a new story, one where success, achievement, happiness, and abundance are not just possible, but expected. The mind is incredibly powerful, but it's also programmable. It will believe whatever it's given, and for far too long, too many people have been feeding it fear, doubt, and limitation. If someone constantly tells themselves they're not good at something, their brain will find ways to prove it. If they keep saying they're not worthy, they'll unknowingly sabotage opportunities. If they believe their past defines them, they'll keep reliving it. But if they start reprogramming their mind, if they begin feeding it new beliefs, ones built on strength, confidence, and possibility, everything starts to shift. Letting go of limiting beliefs begins with awareness, with recognizing the lies that have been accepted as truth. Everyone should ask themselves, what do I believe about myself that might not be real? What limits have I accepted without question? Because every mental limit was placed there at some point. Maybe something someone said, something they went through, or simply a thought they repeated until it stuck. But just like it was planted, it can be removed. Fear is one of the biggest roots of limiting beliefs. Fear of failure, fear of rejection, fear of the unknown. These fears create stories that justify staying comfortable, avoiding risks, settling for less. But fear only holds power when a belief gives it permission. If someone thinks failure means the end, they'll avoid taking chances. If they believe rejection means they aren't good enough, they'll stay silent. But if they change the belief, if they decide failure is growth, that rejection is redirection, then fear starts to fade. The most successful people in the world didn't avoid limiting beliefs, they just refused to let them lead. They were told they couldn't, and they did it anyway. They were doubted, but they kept going. They faced setbacks, failure, and rejection, but they didn't accept them as the end. They chose new beliefs, beliefs that empowered them rather than held them down. That's the key. No one is born with limiting beliefs. They're learned. And anything learned can be unlearned. No one is born thinking they're not good enough, not capable, or undeserving of success. These thoughts are picked up over time, and if they're never questioned, they stay. They become the filter through which life is seen, and they become self-fulfilling. But the moment they're questioned, the moment someone says, "What if that's not true?" the cracks start to show. It's not enough to reject a limiting belief. It must be replaced. If an old belief is removed and nothing new takes its place, it will go back to what's familiar. That's why building a new mental foundation is crucial, one that supports growth, confidence, and action. Instead of, "I can't do this," the belief becomes, "I can figure this out." Instead of, "I've never done this before, so I probably won't be good at it," it becomes, "I'm learning and improving every day." Instead of, "I don't have what it takes," it becomes, "Everything I need is already in me." Words matter, thoughts matter. A thought repeated enough becomes a belief, and beliefs shape reality. If someone believes the world is full of opportunities, they'll see them. If they believe they're surrounded by support, they'll feel it. If they believe they're meant for success, they'll move toward it with confidence. But if they believe opportunities are rare, that people are against them, that success is for others, then that's exactly what they'll experience. This is why challenging limiting beliefs isn't just helpful, it's necessary. It's the difference between frustration and fulfillment, between settling and striving, between staying stuck and moving forward. The mind is the starting point of everything. If it's built on limitation, everything that comes from it will be shaky. But if it's rebuilt on strength, belief, and clarity, there is nothing that can't be accomplished. Nothing outside of a person decides their potential, not their past, their struggles, or their failures. The only thing that defines what's possible is the beliefs they choose to hold on to or let go of. Every person has the power to look at the story they've been telling themselves and say, "Not anymore." Everyone can rewrite their narrative, let go of fear, and step into the version of themselves that has no limits. And once that decision is made, once those limiting beliefs lose their power, everything begins to change. The mind is the control center of it all. Every action, every choice, every result starts there. The way someone thinks shapes how they live, what they try, what they fear, and who they become. If the mind is left unchecked, it will be guided by fear, doubt, the past, and the opinions of others. But when someone takes control, when they guide their thoughts with intention and discipline, they take control of their entire life. Most people don't realize their thoughts are not facts. They assume everything that pops into their mind must be true. Every fear, every insecurity feels real, so they accept it. But thoughts are just thoughts. They aren't reality. The problem is, if a thought is repeated enough, it starts to feel true. And if it feels true, it influences action. Someone who constantly thinks, "I'm not good enough," will hold back, miss out, and stay small. Someone who thinks, "I'm not lucky," won't even notice opportunities. Someone who thinks, "I can't do this," will never try. And none of those thoughts are facts. They're just patterns. But just like they were created, they can be changed. The mind works like a machine, constantly running the programs it's been given. If the program is filled with self-doubt, hesitation, or negativity, that's exactly what it will produce. But if the program is built on confidence, clarity, and resilience, the results will be completely different. The good news is the mind can be reprogrammed. It can be trained, directed, and taught to work for someone rather than against them. This is the real key to success, not luck, not circumstances, but the ability to take control of thoughts and use them as fuel instead of obstacles. Taking command of the mind begins with awareness. Too many people are trapped by their own thinking without even realizing they hold the power. They allow fear to influence decisions, past failures to shape their future, and outside negativity to affect their inner world. But the moment they become aware of this, the moment they realize they can choose their thoughts, everything starts to shift. The first step in mastering the mind is choosing which thoughts deserve attention and which do not. Not every thought is worth accepting. Not every fear is true. Not every doubt is rooted in reality. A person must learn to filter their thinking, to recognize which thoughts push them forward and which ones pull them down. When a negative thought appears, "I'm not capable, I'm not ready, what if I fail?" It must be questioned, not accepted. Where did this come from? Is it true or just old conditioning? Does it serve me or stop me? If it's not helpful, it must be replaced with something stronger, something that empowers, that builds confidence, that reinforces the identity of who they are becoming. The words spoken in the mind matter just as much as the ones said out loud. When the mind is given clear intentional direction, it responds. If a person tells themselves, "I am disciplined," their actions will start to follow that belief. If they say, "I am unstoppable," they'll begin to push through challenges instead of backing down. If they affirm, "I control my thoughts, I control my emotions, I control my actions," they will no longer be at the mercy of outside circumstances. This is the difference between those who succeed and those who struggle. Successful people don't let their emotions rule them. They manage their emotions. They don't let fear decide for them. They move forward in spite of fear. They don't allow doubt to lead the way. They rewrite the mental script and take action with confidence. The mind must be led with intention daily. It's not a one-time effort. It's a habit. Just like the body needs exercise to stay strong, the mind needs consistent training to stay sharp. Each morning, a person must set the mental tone. Today, I will be focused. Today, I will stay disciplined. Today, I will face every challenge with confidence. Today, I will act like the person I'm becoming. These are not just words, they are instructions. The mind takes in what it's given and works to make it real. That's why people who constantly feed their mind negativity keep experiencing it. But those who intentionally feed themselves empowering thoughts start to see their reality transform. The power of the mind is undeniable. There are people who have risen from impossible situations not because they got lucky, but because they refused to let their thinking be shaped by their environment. There are people who have achieved massive success not because they had more than others, but because they trained their minds to look for opportunity instead of limitations. The most elite athletes, entrepreneurs, leaders, and visionaries all have one thing in common: they have mastered their minds. They've disciplined their thoughts. They don't let negativity grow roots. They don't dwell in self-doubt. They don't waste mental energy on ideas that don't support their goals. The truth is, training the mind takes effort. It requires awareness, repetition, and discipline. It's easier to fall back into old patterns. It's easier to give in to fear. It's easier to treat doubt like fact. But easy doesn't build greatness. Easy doesn't create strength. Easy doesn't produce success. The people who go the farthest in life are the ones willing to do the mental work. The ones who wake up and take control of their thoughts, who fight the pull of negativity, who speak to themselves with strength and intention, just like they approach their actions. You can't wait until you feel ready to take control of your mind. You must decide now. You must make the choice to stop letting emotions dictate your behavior. You must refuse to be ruled by fear, by old stories, by the opinions of others. You must speak to yourself with power, with clarity, with conviction. I control my mind. I control my focus. I control my life. That must become your truth, your standard, your non-negotiable. Every moment is a chance to strengthen the mind. Every challenge is a test to see who's in control, you or your doubts. Every decision is a moment to prove that actions shape thoughts, not the other way around. The strongest people aren't the ones who never feel fear or doubt. They're the ones who refuse to let those thoughts win. They notice them, acknowledge them, and move forward anyway. They don't dwell in weakness. They don't stay stuck in hesitation. They don't waste time arguing with themselves. They make decisions and they act. Success, fulfillment, and achievement all begin in the mind. If the mind is weak, nothing else will hold. But if the mind is strong, nothing can stop you. The choice is simple. Command your mind or be controlled by it. Take charge of your thoughts or let them take charge of your life. Step into your power or give it away. Every person has the ability to decide right now that they will no longer be a passenger in their own mind. They will take the wheel. They will direct their focus. They will shape their life with the thoughts they choose, the beliefs they feed, and the words they speak. Seeing yourself as a winner is not just about confidence or self-esteem. It's about building an unshakable mindset that drives every decision, every action, every result. Before anyone else believes in you, before any opportunity arrives, before any goal is reached, you must believe it for yourself. You must see yourself as a winner long before the world does. This isn't arrogance, it's certainty. It's not wishful thinking, it's a declaration. Winners aren't just those who achieve success. They're the ones who have trained their mind to expect it, to demand it, and to live it in everything they do. Most people wait for proof before they believe. They wait for a promotion before seeing themselves as successful. Wait for applause before feeling worthy. Wait for a break before calling themselves capable. But that's not how greatness works. And it's not how winners think. Winners don't wait for proof, they create it. They don't wait for the world to validate them, they validate themselves. They see their future self before anyone else does and hold that vision so strongly in their mind that reality eventually has no choice but to match it. The way you see yourself shapes the way you show up. If you see yourself as average, you'll act that way. If you see yourself as unworthy, you'll sabotage your own progress before you even begin. If you believe you're someone who always struggles or who never gets ahead, your mind will work to confirm it. But the moment you choose to see yourself as a winner, everything changes. Your posture, your energy, your choices. You walk differently, speak differently, move with more purpose because you're operating from a new identity. Winning is not a one-time event. It's a mindset. It doesn't happen to you. It happens through you. It's how you think, how you prepare, how you stay committed. It's waking up every day and choosing discipline over excuses, effort over comfort, growth over staying the same. Winners don't only feel like winners when things are easy. They hold on to that identity through challenges, setbacks, and failures because they understand that winning starts in the mind long before it becomes reality. The real difference between those who win and those who don't isn't talent, luck, or resources, it's belief. It's the ability to believe in themselves no matter what they're facing. There are countless stories of people who started with nothing, who had every reason to quit, who had no real evidence for their belief in themselves, but they won because they refused to see themselves as anything but victorious. They trained their mind to expect success, spoke to themselves like champions, and visualized their wins until it became inevitable. This isn't about pretending or faking confidence. It's about rewiring your subconscious to operate at a higher level. If you constantly tell yourself you're not good enough, that success is out of reach, that winning is for other people, your mind will believe it and shape your reality to match. But if you feed your mind a different message, if you say you're built for greatness, capable of anything, and that nothing is out of reach, your actions will start to reflect that. Winners don't wait to feel ready. They don't wait for the perfect moment or for someone else's permission. They decide. They decide they're worthy. They decide they're capable. They decide they're going to win, no matter what. That decision alone sets them apart. Because once the mind is convinced, the body follows. Once the belief is in place, the actions align. Once the mind expects success, success becomes inevitable. One of the most powerful tools for becoming a winner is visualization. Every great athlete, performer, or leader uses it, whether they realize it or not. They picture themselves winning before it happens. They see themselves crossing the finish line before the race starts. They imagine giving the perfect performance before they step on stage. They visualize closing the deal before walking into the meeting. Because they've already experienced success in their mind, their body responds as if it's already real. When you visualize yourself winning, you're not daydreaming. You're programming your mind for success. Your brain doesn't know the difference between something imagined and something real. If you constantly picture failure, your mind will respond as if it's already happening. But if you see yourself succeeding, if you feel the joy of winning before it's real, your brain starts working to turn it into reality. That's why some people walk into situations with unstoppable confidence. They've already lived that moment 1,000 times in their mind. But visualization isn't enough. You have to back it up with action. Winners don't just see themselves as winners. They act like it. They train, they study, they prepare. They work harder than everyone else because they know belief must be matched with effort. Seeing yourself as a winner means holding yourself to a higher standard than most people are willing to accept. It means not settling, not making excuses, and never lowering your bar. It means showing up every single day like someone destined for greatness. It's easy to think like a winner when life is smooth. The real test is how you think when life gets hard. Anyone can feel confident when things are going right, but a true winner keeps that belief even when everything seems to fall apart. When failure hits, when plans fall through, when doubt tries to creep in, that's when you must hold your ground. That's when you remind yourself of who you are, what you're capable of, and why you started. The world will try to make you forget. It will try to convince you you're not enough. It will throw roadblocks in your way and test your patience. But none of that matters if you've already decided to see yourself as a winner. When you truly believe in yourself, nothing can shake you. When you've already claimed success in your mind, no setback can make you quit. When you've trained your brain to expect greatness, no outside negativity can hold you back. Winning begins in the mind long before it happens in real life. It's a decision, a mindset, an unshakable belief in yourself and what you can do. It's refusing to see yourself as anything less than capable, strong, and meant for something greater. It's waking up each day with the belief that you're built for more, that you're moving forward no matter what, that nothing can stop you because you've already seen yourself win in your mind. And once you see it, once you believe it, once you lock in that identity, there's nothing that can stop it from becoming your reality. I want you to speak to yourself like a warrior before battle, like a champion before game time, like someone who owns their destiny. Because the world will try to break you, tell you who you are, what you can or can't do, and place limits on your dreams. But you are not of this world. You are stronger than your setbacks, greater than the limits placed on you, and more powerful than any challenge ahead. So for just 3 days, I dare you, wake up each morning, look yourself in the mirror and say, I am powerful beyond measure. I am worthy of success, love, and happiness. I do not fear failure. Failure fears me. My past does not define me. My mistakes do not control me. I am becoming who I was always meant to be. Say it again and again until your mind believes it, until your spirit feels it, until your actions show it. Because when you change your words, you change your thoughts. When you change your thoughts, you change your choices. And when you change your choices, you change your life. Just 3 days, 3 days of speaking to yourself like the person you're becoming. 3 days of owning your power, 3 days of refusing to shrink. And after those 3 days, you won't want to go back, because once you've experienced the truth of who you really are, you'll never again settle for anything less. Now go and speak life into yourself. The world is waiting for you.